my name is Dr. Marissa May. In this video, we'll be looking at reading graphs. I have this note sheet linked down in the description if you want to print out a copy of it and then follow along. That would probably be a great way to make sure you don't miss anything in this lesson. So let's take a look at some vocabulary. A histogram displays grouped data. And histograms are usually associated with large groups of data. We're going to look here at a lot of people talking who have purchased running shoes. Okay. Now, each group is identified or defined by an interval on the horizontal axis. So remember, the horizontal axis is the axis at the bottom of the graph. And then the height of the bar for an interval indicates the number of data items that fall in this group. This number is called a frequency. So let's take a look at a problem here. We're told that during a sales promotion, the manager of Academy, which is a sporting goods store, uses a frequency table to keep track of the pairs of running shoes sold during the day. So you can see that from 9 to 12, he just did tally marks, right? So we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Looks like 29 pairs of running shoes were sold. Okay. And then from 12 to 3, we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And then from 3 to 6, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 41. Okay. And then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32 were between 6 and 9. So if I want to build a histogram, and friends, I'm doing this without a ruler. I could get a ruler and be very precise, but I want you just to see the general idea. I'm going to split my horizontal axis into 4 time intervals. So I'll do it in half and then half again. Okay. So here's my 9 to 12. Here's my 12 to 3. Here's my 3 to 6, and then my 6 to 9. And then on the vertical axis will be my number of pairs of shoes. And it looks like I need to go up to 41. So I'm going to go to 50. I'll make this 50. So halfway would be 25. And so then I'll just do 5 markers between this. So it'd be 5 and 10 and 15 and 20. Of course, I could be more precise with a ruler, but not necessary when we're just trying to get a feel. 10, 15, 20, and 25. Okay, so then remember, the height of my bar indicates the number of data items. So from 9 to 12, I need to be all the way at 29. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I need to be almost to 30 there. So I'm going to draw a bar about this height. And again, remember, I could use a ruler. I would be more precise. But this is my bar that represents the number of running shoes that were sold between 9 and 12. Okay. Then next, let's do between 12 and 3. That's 35. So we need to go all the way up to this height there. There we go. And then had a big time between 3 and 6, which will be my 41. So that's my 35, 40. We need to go a little bit higher than that. And then finally, we'll go between 6 and 9 was at 32. So we need to be about right here for 32. And that's my last bar. And so you see that the histogram has intervals on the horizontal axis, and the height of the bar tells us how many items were actually in that interval. Okay, so let's take a look then at a bar graph. Now again, remember, this note sheet is down in the description. If you want to download a copy, follow along. I'd be glad for you to do that. So a bar graph compares amounts or quantities using either horizontal, can have a horizontal bar graph, or a vertical bar graph. Either one will work. This one obviously is a vertical bar graph. So the bar graph here shows the final scores of a 3-game volleyball match between AMC, which is the darker bars, and BHC, which is the lighter bars. So what was the result of each game? Well, it looks like game one was BHS, that's the lighter, scored 15, and AMC, the darker, scored, looks about 13. Okay, in game two, it looks like BHS, the lighter, scored 10, and AMC scored 15. So it looks like BHS won game one, AMC won game three. So now game two. Now we look at game three, and it looks like AMC scored 17. It's the darker. And BHS scored the lighter, which is 15. So it looks like AMC ended up winning. They won game three and game two. And so AMC ended up winning that match. And again, I read the results from the heights of my bars. Now, if I had had a horizontal bar graph, of course, then my bars would have run horizontally and I could have read those numbers from there as well. All right, let's take a look then at a circle graph. Now, circle graphs, remember, represent the parts of a whole. So when we look at a circle, we are cut into pieces, and those pieces represent percentages. For instance, this section right here, I'll put a star in it, is not quite 50% of the circle. It's not quite half of the circle, but it is bigger than the other portions of the circle. This portion right here, very tiny. It's less than about a quarter. This section also is less than a quarter. So what we want to do is see which of these, A through D, could be represented by this circle graph. So look at A. In the election for class president, Sarah received 40 votes, Eddie received 25 votes, Carol received 15, and Matthew received 20. Okay. So let's look at the Sarah received 40 votes. That one actually could be my starred section, okay? Because 40, it's not quite half. Half the circle would have been 50%. So that one's okay. Eddie receives 25%. Now, this one I have a problem with because I want you to think about where 25% of your circle would be. I'm doing this in pencil here. 25% of my circle would land me right there, like this perfect corner right there in the middle. And I don't have a section in here that is like that. And so I can't have a 25% because I don't have a section of the circle that's exactly 1/4 of it. So I'm going to have to say no to choice A. In fact, I'm going to have to say no to any answer choice that has a 25% section because I don't have that piece of the puzzle. Okay. And I'm just going to circle it. So I'm reminding myself why I can't choose this one because I don't have a 25% section of the circle graph. So A and B are out. Let's look at C. During a special sale at Calvert Auto Mart, Edward sold 30% of the cars sold. Janet sold 5%, Edith sold 40%, and Mitch sold 25%. There we go. We found that 25% again. That means we can't choose this one. So friends, it looks like I have to go with D as my answer choice. So let's see if we can put the percentages in there. In a recent survey about favorite pets, 45% of those surveyed chose dogs. Okay, that easily goes in our big section that we had starred. 35% chose cats. Let's do that in our next big section, which is here. And let's see, and 5% chose horses. Okay, that's our tiny section. And 15% chose other animals. Okay, so look what happens, friends. If you look just at the upper half of this circle, you've got a 45% section and a 5% section. If you add those together, you get 50% of the circle, which is half. Do the same thing down here in the bottom of this circle. So you have the 35% section plus the 15% section. That does give you 50%. So yes, this is going to work beautifully for that one. So let's look at one more question with circle graphs to wrap up today. The circle graph here shows the ages of people who visited the museum last Friday. We have if 900 people visited the museum during the day, how many of them were between the ages of 15 and 35? So I don't know about you, but I'm a huge highlighter person when I read problems, and I know that 900 people is going to be important. I also know this ages of 15 and 35 are important. So if I look at my circle graph, I have a section over here that's for 15 to 35. And I'm told that that's 35% of the people. So what I need to do is figure out, okay, then what is 35% of these 900 people? So what the question's really asking is, what is 35% of 900 people? Now, in order to deal with the percentage, we're going to change it to a decimal by just writing it as 0.35. And then of means multiply 900. Now, of course, I want you to be just using your calculator. Any old calculator will work. The one on your phone would work just as well as any fancy one. So when you put that 0.35 times 900 in there, you get 315, which for us is answer choice H here. So friends, I hope this helps you with your graphs for this week. And let me know if you have some questions. I'd be happy to help. Bye for now.